Hello everybody, welcome to EduTap, and today we are going to discuss about the must know technicalities for descriptive answer writing, right? Whenever you write a descriptive answer, and in fact in the market if you look at it, we know that okay, there are three things that are important, right? To write a good introduction, to write a good body, and then to write a good conclusion, right? These are the things that everybody know, even if you do not know how to write an answer, but at least you know that okay, these are things that we have to take into consideration while having or writing an answer. So all in all, what we are doing, we are just focusing on the content of the answer, right? And we sometimes forget the other technicalities that you should master if you want to write proper answers, especially in NABARD grade examination where competition is very high, right? So we are going to discuss in today's session what apart from content are the things that you should practice beforehand going to the examination, which will not be the hindering factor, right? देखो content, it is definitely important. Without knowing the content or without typing the content, how would you justify how much you know about the question, right? That is perfectly fine and true, but you need to understand that it is not supreme. What does it mean? Means the content, it is definitely important, but it is not the only factor in an answer writing, right? For example, okay, you know the content, okay, but while typing, because yeah, I hope you all know that in NABARD grade examination the descriptive typing, it is descriptive typing, right? It is means you would have to type the answer, you would not write in pen and paper mode, right? So you know the content, but you do not have your hand set on the keyboard, and you are committing a lot of spelling mistake consciously or subconsciously, right? Or you are committing a lot of grammatical errors, right? So imagine you're going for a graduate entry, right? And you do not know the basic spellings, or maybe the examiner would have this viewpoint that you do not know the basic spellings and you're making a lot of grammatical errors, right? How are you going to justify the content that you know, right? Because these things are going to have the negative impact in your performance, right? You know the content, so you know the content, what is it and everything, but your typing speed, if your typing speed, it is so slow that you are not able to write the answer in the designated time period. So what's the use of that content, right? So for that, for writing your content in the designated time, you need to have the practice beforehand, right? You should use a timer. Initially you should not use a timer if you're just a complete beginner, but once you get habitual of typing answer, you should use a timer, and then within that time period you should try to write the answer, right? Sometime while you're writing without any timer, you might not commit any spelling mistakes, right? Because you are easily doing everything. But once a timer is set, you would get to know that how actually in that limited time period, how much you can actually convert your thoughts into the words, and also are you typing that in the proper grammatical sequence, as well as the spelling mistakes are also correct or not, right? Word limit, it plays a major role in a bar grade examination, right? So for 10 marks there is 400 word limit, and for the 15 marks there is 600 word limit, right? Initially you could initially the interface of the examination was like such for descriptive answer typing that you could write beyond 400 word also, but that was not appreciated, right? Because there is a limit of words that has been given, so you should not cross that. However, the students have told us that from the last time, now in the interface they have set this limit that after 400 words you cannot even type a sentence, right? So imagine if you do not practice in such a way, you know the content, right, but you do not know how to express that in a concise manner, that you reach this 400 word limit, right? And now you want to type beyond, right? But there is nothing left, right? You would have to backspace everything, you have to delete half of your information and then reframe it again. That will consume your time in the examination, right? So you have to always keep these words limit inside your head, right? And in fact, if I talk about in the with the toppers, we have talked, and there are a lot of YouTube videos that you can find on a talk with the toppers, and all have said that it's not necessary, or I would say chalo benefit of doubt dete hain, just like the doctors give for the hand washes, right? So 99.9% of our candidates who are now the officers in NABARD, they have said that, you know, for 400 marks word, if you are able to write a good answer in 300 to 350 words, it is acceptable. Toppers have done that, and they are now into the organization, right? For 600 words, the word limit is 500 to 550. Means if in this particular range you can write a decent enough answer, good enough answer, addressing all the micro questions, that is acceptable. The idea is not to go beyond this word limit 400 to 600. However, if you sum up your answer in the mentioned word limit, then it is also acceptable, right? So whenever you are practicing, you should practice as such that you are able to express your views in a very concise manner. Now some of you, if you think, ma'am, what if I can give all the answer is like 200 word, is it acceptable? No. See, the type of questions that are asked in exams are like that. You cannot sum up it to 200 words, because in a single question there are 2 to 3 micro questions that are asked, right? So you would have to address everything, and that could not be done in just 200 words, right? In 200 words you must be thinking that you have addressed everything, but in reality you would not have, you wouldn't have. Okay? So here word limit is very important to take into consideration. Okay? Apart from that, देखो content everybody know. For example, if I talk about organic farming, right, everybody know the definition, and the definition will remain same only, right? But the difference come that how much current examples, data, facts and trends that you are adding. Okay? How this will inculcate, definitely देखो, first of all you would be doing current affairs also for the examination, so it would be somewhere inside your head, okay, that these are the recent information. Apart from that, I will show you in next slide also how toppers prepared, right? But there what they did, they used to make the content beforehand only. I'll even tell you how you can prepare that beforehand, right? But in that they used to add the data, facts and trends. ठीक है? अब क्या है, for data, for example, there was a data like 3.6%. So for that, what you can do, just for that time period, till the time you're making fodder material, you can just use, instead of 3.6%, you can just use X percentage, right? Because this data might change in future, right? So whenever you will be doing current affairs, it will be inside your head that, okay, this is the content that I'm using in my fodder material, and this is the current data that is there, right? So it would not be a problem. Okay? But adding more and more current information, trends and examples will set you apart from the candidates who are just going to write the theoretical or bookish knowledge on the content. Okay? Next is, content is important, but if you do not know how to properly structure and link it, if you are not using a sequenced flow, right, or a sensible flow in the answer writing, that is not going to fetch you good marks. Okay? For example, if you're starting off with some concluding factor, and then you are coming up with the solutions, and then you're coming up with the problems, so even though your content is good, but because of this because there is no sequence in the answer, it will give the negative impact on your performance. Okay? And ultimately it is also very important to practice in an exam like interface. What does it mean? See, in your NABARD examination, you are not going to get full screen to type the answer. You will get a box like structure. Okay? So in that box like structure, if you're writing it for the very first time, you might find it, a little bit difficult, such interface to interact with, right? So what you can do, there are applications that are there in your laptop or computer, whatever you use. For example, currently we have opened PowerPoint application, then we have MS Word, we have MS Excel, there are various, right? Similar to that, one is Notepad. Okay? So what you have to do, you have to open the Notepad. Then what is the next step? Okay? Whenever you open any application, there are three signs that you must have observed in the top right corner. Okay? One is like this minus sign. If you click on this, your application will minimize, right? If you click on this cross sign, your application will closes, right? But for this middle sign, that is the double page sign, when you click on it, your application becomes half screen and full screen of the laptop or computer. Okay? When in the Notepad you click on this, the shape which Notepad will take when it becomes half screen is pretty much similar to the interface that you are going to find in the examination hall. Okay? So if you would practice in Notepad, you would be more familiar with what kind of situation you are going to face in the real examination time. Okay? So it will also help you to not get overwhelmed at the very moment when you are writing the examination. Okay? Another reason of preferring Notepad over WordPad is that in WordPad a lot of time autocorrection happens, right? But sometimes, even the spelling of something, but sometimes your hands are not set on keyboard and you commit the mistake. How would you get to know about it? Or maybe you think you know the spelling of a particular word, but actually you don't, right? So but from MS Word you would never have that learning, because it gets auto corrected over there. In Notepad nothing such sort happens, no red underline, no and nothing. So you would, whatever you are writing, that would be authentic of yourself. ठीक है. अब next what you have to do, whatever you have typed in notepad, you have just copy and paste it to a website that is known as Grammarly. Okay, so in the Grammarly website we have both paid and free version. For us free version would also do. You have to copy and paste everything over there, and then you would find that all your grammatical errors, even be it your punctuations, full stop, etc. ठीक है. Apart from that, the improper use of articles a and the and all the things are clearly highlighted, and how you can reframe any particular sentence in a better manner, everything is highlighted, and that is going to help you during the practice to actually prepare well in the real time examination, right? But all these things, the technicalities that we have talked about, this will only come after constant practice, practice and practice. Because if you directly go to the examination hall and you just keep in mind, okay, I have to complete in certain period, I have to increase my typing speed, you do not know if it is actually going to happen over there, right? You can try it for yourself. After watching this video, just go and type something on anything that you know about, right? You would realize it is difficult, right? So if you do more and more practice now, it is going to help you during the examination. ठीक है. अब क्या है, let's just talk about the second factor, which is to have the learning of good answer writing. ठीक है. So it should have a good introduction, body and conclusion, and your answer should have 360-degree coverage. What does it mean? 360-degree coverage means if asked about climate change, ठीक है, so for example, if all the aspirants know what a climate change is, means definition wise everybody know, but how do you stand out from the rest of the aspirants? You are going to include, for example, the condition of Dubai you can mention, right? Because in recent time the rainfall of 2 years, about 2 years have just poured down in 2 days, right? So that's an impact of climate change, right? That's a evidence of climate change. Apart from that, even in India you must have observed that this winter the rainfall was very less, right? And I'm sorry, not rainfall, snowfall was very less, right? And the snowfall later gets converted during summer, it melts and it adds water into the rivers. But this time we are going to face that scarcity as well, right? So 360-degree coverage and adding these recent data is what we mean when we say that these are the technicalities that make you stand out from the rest of the aspirants, right? Apart from that, you should also no, you should not restrict yourself in climate change to deforestation and global warming. You should now include heat waves as well, right? You should also include the oceanic temperature rise, how it is impacting the coral reefs, which in turn disturbing the underwater system, right? So this is like wholesome way of actually addressing an answer, and not just about the bookish knowledge that you have. Okay, we know that it cost you the descriptive writing is worth 150 marks in phase 2, so definitely it requires a good content and typing speed. Okay, typing speed is something that will come with time, it will come with practice, but for good content, what can be done? So the golden rule is to prepare the fodder material beforehand. Okay, prepare everything on a certain topic beforehand. How to choose, I'll just tell you in a while, but whenever you prepare a fodder material, then it is very important to get it evaluated, right? See, sometimes we think that we are writing good answer until unless there is somebody more experienced to guide us, that these are the things that you need improvement in, right? So it is very important to get it evaluated, and ultimately then practice your fodder material daily. ठीक है. अब how it has to be done, अब static के लिए तो it's simple, whatever you have studied while reading the static content, just revise it and try to write an answer. For example, if you have covered forestry, so there's a topic social forestry, just pick that topic and start typing on it, right? That's one case. But for current affairs, what the toppers they did, for example, because they were thorough with current affairs, they were studying it, they were observing subtopics are recurrent in nature, right? And they made a list of 10 to 12 topics in each case. ठीक है. अब क्या हुआ, 10 to 12 topics which they made, they were completely different from each other. For example, in ARD, there is one topic, organic farming, which is pretty much widely being discussed in India. Another is cooperative societies, which is pretty much being discussed. Another one, for example, is blue economy, where the government is focusing on the underwater world, utilizing them in a sustainable manner. So now you're looking at these three topics. I've just given you an example. These are completely different from each other, right? So first they came up with the topics which are completely different but are frequent in news, both in ARD section and ESI section, and after that they made the fodder material. Okay, they added the definition, included what is the current development that is happening, why that particular thing it is in news, reports, data, facts supporting your answers, schemes, example, reforms, challenges, and at the end a good conclusion, a positive conclusion they added. They got it evaluated with people who with experience, and finally they modified if required and did their practice daily. ठीक है, and that definitely helped them in the examination, because they were the topic that they used was so diversified that even in examination any unfamiliar topic came, they were able to write something in it. Because what happens when you prepare so much, you can utilize one paragraph from one fodder material that you have prepared, another paragraph from another fodder material, another paragraph from another fodder material, and even if you do not know any answer, if that is the case in examination, at least still you will be able to fetch decent enough marks, right? That is what the toppers did, and that is what we recommend you all to do. So thank you for watching the video. If you want me to cover any such more strategy videos in NABARD grade examination, you can mention that in the comment section. I'll make a video on that, and you can also join a Telegram channel to get the PDF of all the lectures that we provide here on YouTube. Thank you everybody for watching the session, and all the very best for your future.